Hi guys, and welcome to another tarot video on my channel. Today is going to be very exciting because we will talk about the shadow, your shadow self, like all the parts of you, like the sum of all the parts of you that you don't express, that you suppress or reject or disown or deny in yourself. And like in the best case, these parts would be healed and reintegrated in your being again. So if you don't know what the shadow self is or what we're talking about, if you want to learn more about this, you can go check out this video of mine. I made it like the beginning of the week, which is actually the reason why I wanted to do this tarot reading now. To give you guys an idea of what you can work with. And we will try to ask your shadow self directly what is best for you to work on right now, and we will try to get maybe some messages directly from it. So we have 3 piles here. We have group 1, group 2 and group 3. I wanted to show you the cards firstly without any objects, so because you know some people want to choose their pile without any objects on it, just with the oracle cards. When you are part of the other group of people who need objects to choose, I will give you something. So I chose to use candles this time because I always use these candles over here. I put them there to light up the reading a little bit and to give some good energies, but this time I thought a candle would be a good idea to to choose the piles. I don't know why, because you have shadow self and light self. Maybe that was the idea. I was just going with my intuition. So if you need more time to choose your pile, to choose your group, then you can pause the video right here. And if you're ready to pick, then you can scroll down to the description box or to the comments and jump right ahead to your group. If you want to stay and watch which tarot and oracle decks I'll be using, you can do that as well, because today we're gonna work with 2 new decks that I haven't used ever before in one of my readings. We're gonna, for the tarot, we're gonna use the Supernatural Tarot because I thought it was so fitting. It's one of my newest ones and I'm really excited to try it out. Then of course, this one is a bit older, but it's also one that I never used before. We're gonna use the Dark Mirror deck by Laura Serra, and I'm really excited to see what has come through for you guys. This is exciting. Also for the oracle cards, we're gonna also use the Wild Unknown Archetypes oracle deck. The channeled messages oracle deck from the Hermit Tarot, where I don't have an official box. I just painted this myself. And at the end, I think we're gonna pull an advice card from the Universe Has Your Back oracle deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna jump ahead to your reading now, and we'll see you. I see you there. Welcome group 1. If you chose this lilac candle, then this is gonna be your reading. I will put your candle over here to, guide us to the reading. So we first take a look at the oracle cards that I've pulled, and then I'm gonna pull some tarot, and then we're gonna read what's in front of us, group 1. So the first card, so the Dark Mirror card that came out for you, was the very first card. It's the Triumph of Lies. Then we have from the Wild Unknown Archetypes oracle, we have the number 54, the Vow. I'm sorry if my voice sounds raspy. I'm not sure what's up with that, but it's been a hard week. And we have the number 21, the Mystic. Very interesting. And from the channeled messages, we have Will You Choose Me? We have the Ace of Wands. And we have, I think so, yes, but it's in reverse. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna pull some tarot. Or do I want to read them first? No, we will pull the tarot. Pull the tarot, and then I'm gonna read. Okay, so for group 1, Spirit, group 1's shadow self. What is group 1's shadow self wanting group 1 to know? What is group 1's shadow self wanting group 1 to know or do? So we have the Ace of Blades, which is the Ace of Swords. What is group 1's shadow self wanting group 1 to know or do? We have the 3 of Pentagrams. In the Supernatural Tarot, it's not Pentacles, it's Pentagrams, which is beautiful. Anything else that you can tell us? Anything that group 1's shadow self is wanting group 1 to know or do? Or tell them anything that you must know. Favorite card, the Fools. This is the Fool card, but it's Dean and Sam, because they're both so dumb. I know if you have watched Supernatural group 1, then we can be friends, because this show is just so amazing. Number 7, the Chariot, another major arcana. Interesting. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, the Queen of Pentagrams. Exciting, very exciting group 1. So let's just pull that and put that to the side for now. Hope you can see everything. Yes, you can. So group 1, we start over here, because this is the first card that came out with the Triumph of Lies. These cards from the Dark Mirror Oracle, they're very, very multifaceted. You have like a moon phase here. You have like to every card a stage of grief attached to, like there's like there are 5 stages of grief. There's like denial, depression, no, not depression, sadness, no, denial, anger, bargain, depression, and acceptance, something like that. Ask me, I have no idea, but I just read about it, but I already forgot. So it's the very first card, and I think that the stage attached here to the card is bargain. And the Triumph of Lies, if you look at this card, you have, I know it might be a bit hard to see, you have like a group of mannequins in this card, and in the middle you have this mannequin that is like looking back at you, because the Dark Mirror is always like a mirror. You look into it and you see yourself, like some part of yourself looking back at you, and you have this mannequin without a head, but there's like a skull with a crown flying over like exactly at the place where the head would be. So the Triumph of Lies is about appearance, like how do we present ourselves to the world that is not authentic, like what kind of masks do we put on to, you know, so that others don't judge us. This is very interesting, because it talks all about, like, you know, inauthenticity. Inauthenticity. Yes. So group 1, your shadow self is wanting you to think about, what do you do, like what parts of yourself do you express, or do you live out that are not actually part of yourself, you know? What do you do just to please others? With the vow here, the vow is always talking about what, like broken promises or broken vows, like when it's out of balance. It's like, what have you told other people? What have you told yourself? The last promise that you gave, have you actually kept it, you know? Is there something that you maybe promised yourself that you would change? Maybe like some kind of habit or some kind of lifestyle change, and you haven't done it? Or you promised yourself that you would go after your dreams, or you would, like, you know, it could be anything that you promised yourself to do or promised someone else to do, but you haven't done it yet, or you haven't done it in general. Could also be something from years back. It's just about, when we don't keep promises to ourselves, it actually does something with us, because we lose trust in ourselves. And this is fatal, because if we can't trust ourselves, like what are we supposed to do? Because we are the only ones who are responsible for our lives. So we have to trust that we do what's right and best for us. And the mystic here is telling me, group 1, that the mystic is about light workers. And light workers. There are some people on this earth, and I think it's gonna be more and more with every generation. Like this generation, my generation, is very, very fascinating, because there are so many people awakening. You see this moth here. I think it has some kind of name in the archetype, like in the archetype oracle guidebook. Just for, I think it was Sheba or something. It just talks about, there is, like, when you are comfortable sitting in your shadow, comfortable experiencing it, and comfortable transforming it, then you are a light worker. And there's like this common misconceptions about light workers, that just daydreamers rocking around the world with nothing in their head, like nothing to be realistic about. They're just dreamers. But it's not like that. They're transformers. They are actually the people who love to explore the dark side and who are comfortable with it. And they're the big game changers, because they commit to transformation. So what I'm seeing in group 1, that your shadow self is wanting you to be comfortable with your shadow, right? Maybe you already are actually comfortable with it, but you're just not seeing like something that you still think is part of your personality. Like, it could be anything. Maybe you've been lying about, for example, I don't know, you are outgoing, and you want to be outgoing because it's easier to be outgoing in this world, and actually it drains you. Actually, it's like, actually I think I'm an introvert. It's a bad example actually, but if there's something that you feel uncomfortable about, like if you do or be a certain way that actually is taking energy from you, that makes you like, it's a burden in some kind of way, like when the mask becomes a burden, it's a mask, and you see that it's not yourself, and then you should take it off, because it hurts you and it's not serving you anymore. It's always better to let people see a true self, because this is the most freeing experience ever. And yeah, like the moth is always talking about transformation. So maybe you have promised yourself that you would do some kind of lifestyle change. Maybe, eat healthier, for example, transform your life, transform your body, transform your health to be in a better place in the future. But you haven't like held this promise, and you're still like acting like everything is fine. You're still acting that, maybe you're still acting like you actually do this kind of lifestyle, like you like this lifestyle, or you've been changing things already, but you haven't. Something like this I'm seeing here. So it's interesting, because I read about the mystic that light workers, they always have to connect with the fire in themselves to create this kind of passion for that transformation. And we have the Ace of Wands here, which literally is fire energy, like all the fire that you got. And this is just telling me that, group 1, you are very powerful in your shadow. Like if you heal this, if you start healing the parts of you that you maybe even want to integrate again into your personality, just suppress them because you think that people judge you for them, or that people don't like those parts of yourself, but they are parts of yourself. Like, this is you, and it's time to stop pleasing others in the first place. Okay, so if you don't want to do something, then don't do it. If you don't want to be someone or something, then don't be it. Like, be yourself. And your shadow self is just kind of asking you what you want to choose, right? What are you gonna decide? Will you be deciding to live on wearing this mask and be dead inside? Like, will you choose the lies, or will you choose the truth, the transformation? And with the Fool's card, this is so beautiful, because the Fool is like always about taking a risk, like taking a leap of faith. It can be fast, it can be, you know, not thought through, but in this case I think it's supposed to be fast. It's supposed to be like a fast, like a quick journey. It's supposed to be taking on speed very quickly with the chariot over here. These are like 2 major arcana, so this is something big, group 1. Yeah, I think like as soon as you start to, you know, figure out what you actually want to do, who you actually want to be, and actually try to keep the promises and keep the vows that you made to yourself and that you made maybe to others, but I think it's something that you promised yourself that you would do and that you haven't done yet. And it's very important that you keep this promise, that you act on it, because it's so important for the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay, this is like you deserve to be who you want to be, and you deserve to be who you are, without anyone judging you for it, or without anyone like telling you that this is not you and that is not meant for you. The mystic is also like, when it's out of balance, it's always seeking for validation, for, you know, someone to compliment you. And you can't live like that. You can't just be the person you think everyone would like or everyone would compliment. This is not possible, literally. You can't be liked by everybody and everyone. No, people will always want to be people that don't like what you're doing and that don't agree with who you are or what you want. But this is okay. It's okay. Like, let them be. Like, there's nothing that's gonna have, like, what do you think is gonna happen if you be who you are? There's nothing. In the best case, it's gonna change your whole life, and you're gonna maybe lose some people, maybe lose some friends, but you're gonna attract the ones that are actually meant for you and that actually match your energy and your visions. In the worst case scenario, like, you're gonna lose someone. Like, you use maybe even not only people, but also things. But every time we lose something, there's something or someone better on the way. And this is what I learned when I was a child. Like, every time I would lose something or not get something, for example, a scholarship, there was always something better for me out there. Also, with the Ace of Blades, we have 2 aces here, by the way. Very beautiful. So it's all about, you know, new beginnings, new cycles beginning. With the Ace of Blades, it's very important that you are honest to yourself, that you are brutally honest with yourself. Like, keep your vows. If you promise someone something, then you should keep it, and be honest about what you can do and what you can't do, what you are able to do and what you don't feel able to do or ready to do. Don't just do and say things to make others happy. Really be present with yourself and do what is right for you. This is very important. With the 3 of Pentagrams here, this may be like, I think there are several parts of you that you should work on. True, I mean, we all have several parts. This is just the beginning. Like, if you start to figure out what is actually not, this is actually like what you do at the beginning of doing shadow work, like figuring out what is part of you and what is maybe not really part of your personality. What did you just do, or what are you just, you know, doing and expressing because it made you survive. Interesting story, when the first time I went to a psychic group in London, it was back in London, they were telling me, like, there are many parts of my personality that are not my personality. Actually, I just, you know, I used to express them because it made me survive. And they were telling me, like, you survived, okay? You can now move on. You can now transform. This is a breaking point. And I think it is for you to, group one. And you may be, you know, finding it comfortable, like finding comfort in, you know, getting help from someone that you can trust. But I think it's also like the teamwork part here is also about teamwork with all the parts in yourself. Like, you all have to work together. This is just a reminder of you that integrating parts and doing shadow work. But by the way, I told this before, but I linked somewhere in the beginning of the video, and I'm gonna link it in the description box, my video about shadow work and how to do it. I filmed this earlier this week, which is why I, you know, wanted to do this reading now. It's just the beginning. There are many parts of you that can participate here, and it's always about finding a compromise, okay? To integrate those parts and to become, like, get a balance between them, that they're not fighting anymore, okay? Then you can integrate them. It's not about everything and everyone being happy. It's just about finding compromises and, you know, accepting everything and everyone in you, because you are not like a single being. You are, your psyche is like lots of personality parts and traits, and they are all very unique, and they are all valid, and they all have their own wishes and dreams and, you know, wants and needs. And it's important to try to meet like every need of them, so they all can be happy, happily integrated, and, you know, then they won't trigger and bother you anymore this much. And you can be the light worker that you're supposed to be, group one, because you have a lot of fire, and you are comfortable transforming, or you can be if you just start, you know. Transformation is so fun, and it can be so, like, you never know what you're able to do. Like, you're so powerful, and sometimes we forget how powerful we are. But you definitely are. I'm just saying, like, with the Ace of Blades. If you watch the show group one, you know that like the character Dean, he's got, like, in the later season, this mark of Cain, and it's supposed to be, you know, transforming him to be like a mindless killer machine, and kill those bunch of hell princes or whatever. And he's very strong. He's able to resist it for a long time, and he's doing great. I mean, this mark is kind of, you know, killing him, but yeah, it's all about, you know, standing strong in this kind of conflict, because shadow work, I won't lie to you, shadow work is hard, and it can be conflicting, of course, because you're talking to various, like, parts of you here, and they all not agree with each other. But, you know, this is something that you are very much able to do, and that can move very quickly. You can get very quick results here, actually, with the Chariot, if you just commit to it. And this is the end result, group one. With the Queen of Pentagrams, this is someone who is, like, has grown a lot, and has, you know, reached a very stable point in their life, and who's just confident in who they are. And this can be you. Like, this is supposed to be you, group one. But it can't be if you just keep on lying to yourself and wearing a mask, and, like, wearing clothes that are not meant for you, basically. This is why the mannequins are here, right? You have all these lies, all these masks, and it's not you. You're basically starving yourself with being whatever others want you to be. So there's no face looking back at you, but like a skull. Like, you're basically starving yourself with that. Well, I'm so sorry, group one. I forgot to pull an advice card for you. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that now. So, Spirit, can you give group one any advice on how to start this process of shadow work? When I think I surrender, I surrender. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Excuse me. Yes, group one. You see this dandelion over here with all these seeds? And it's like, there's so many so many opportunities, like every part of you that you've suppressed. Maybe this is not, they don't want to hurt you or anything. They're just here trying to grow themselves, and of course they're gonna trigger and bother you if you don't express them, if you don't integrate them. As I said, you can check out my video on shadow work. I'm gonna explain exactly to you how you can do it and how to understand it. But this is important to not you know, let those parts control, don't let those parts control you, but also don't control those parts. Like, surrender to the journey. Like Sam and Dean do. They basically just go wherever they are called to and wherever the story is bringing them to, and you know, just surrender to the journey, because it's a beautiful journey of transformation, and there's nothing to be afraid of and nothing that could bring you harm. It's just about yourself healing the inner parts of you, like the inner wounds, the inner trauma, the inner child. So nothing to be afraid of is basically your advice. There's just trust, because you can trust yourself. Okay, so this is your advice card. And now I'm gonna call it now I'm gonna call it group 1. So I hope you liked this reading. If you did, and if you like got some clarity out of it, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do tarot videos every Saturday, and I'm gonna link one over here for you, also in the description box. You can check them out if you want to. And for now, I wish you a wonderful day, group 1. I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye. Hello and welcome. If you chose this beautiful reddish candle, then this is gonna be a reading. Group 2. I'm gonna put your candle over here to keep on shining. And yes, we're gonna take a look at your oracle cards first, and then we're gonna pull some tarot, and then we're gonna talk. So the first card that came out for you, group 2, was number 24 of the Dark Mirror Oracle, the Queen of My World. Beautiful. And then we have 2 cards from the Unknown Archetype Oracle. The number 28, literally the shadow. Nice. And we have the number 65? 65, I think. The prayer. Okay. And then we have 4 channel messages cards. We have, I think we should see other people in reverse. And we have 3 cards in reverse. Happiness is my priority in reverse. Love me in reverse. And we have I need time for me, but it's upright. Okie dokie. Just gonna make some space for all those cards. Got the most channeled messages cards, group 2. So we need to squeeze them all in. And now I'm gonna pull some tarot, and then we're gonna talk about your shadow, group 2. So, Spirit, please. Group 2's shadow self. What would you tell group 2? Or what would you tell, want to know? So we have the Queen of Bones, or the Queen of Wands. What else would group 2's shadow self? Okay, I think they want me to take this card. We have the Knight of Bones. Anything else? What would group 2's shadow self tell group 2? What would they want group 2 to know and do or do? What will group 2's shadow self want group 2 to know or do? You. We have the 7 of Cups. Anything else? Anything else they want group 2 to know or do? This deck is so hard to shuffle, I'm telling you. Okay, so we have the now we have the King of Bones. What is going on? I think one last card would be nice. Give me just like one last card and then one last card, please. What would you choose? Okay. Oh my gosh. Now we have the Magician. Literally God. So, oh gosh, I don't want to spoil you. If you haven't watched Supernatural Group 2, then probably maybe this is not the reading for you if you want to watch it. Maybe I will warn you if I'm about to spoil anything, because you should definitely watch the show. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just saying. Okay, so starting with this Dark Mirror Oracle card. Number 24. So as I told group 1 already, for each Dark Mirror card, this is like literally a mirror. So you're looking in and there's something looking back at you, the dark side of yourself, or like some dark aspect. And every card has like a moon phase associated with it, like a sentence that I can't remember right now, bent like a stage of grief. And for this card, it's bargain. And the moon phase is full, obviously. You can see the moon here. And the Queen of Mirrors, you see here this beautiful queen all in red in this kind of, I think it's a forest with some white columns in the background and snowing. And she's like very thinly dressed and with all this, this beautiful red dress and this beautiful crown over here. I think it's made of wood, but I could be wrong. This card is just reminding you, group 2, that you are the queen of your world. Like, you are the queen of your inner world. And I'm getting the feeling with the shadow card over here that maybe shadow work in general is something very new for you, or you're just not sure if you want to, you know, do that in general. Because it's like this reminder that, okay, there is an inside world in you and you are the queen of it and you are in control and you have power over everything. But there is a shadow. There is a shadow, as it is in everyone, like in every single one of us. So you have this, like this shadow is literally like this object here, and you have like light side where the light is coming from, and you have a shadow. This is the number 28 in the Unknown Archetype Oracle deck. And yeah, it's literally about the shadow itself, the shadow self, to remind you, like, wherever like is light, the more light there is, and the closer you are to the light, the longer is the shadow that you cast. And it's time for you to really dive deep and to explore those shadows, because maybe you haven't done this before, like never ever. But it's just reminding you that you have power, and maybe you've forgotten about that you are the one who is in control in your life, and there's nobody else who can tell you what to do and what not to do. But if you are like in a troubled place right now, with the prayer card here, the number 65 I think, it's just reminding you that if you feel like you need guidance or help, then don't be hesitant to ask for it. It's totally appropriate. Maybe you think that you're not troubled enough to ask for help, or it's not the kind of a big deal. You don't want to bother people or anyone else. Like, this is no, ask for help if you want to, if you feel the need to. The prayer is also reminding you that, like, it's important to pray. Whatever praying means for you, it doesn't have to be like bowing to the ground and spoiler and praying to God. It can mean singing, it can mean dancing, it can mean just being grateful, just being in nature, breathing. It can literally mean anything to you, whatever it means to you. It's important that you do these kind of practices, that you are in the silence, and that you let yourself, you know, sit in whatever you are sitting in right now. Explore your feelings in general. Like, let your feelings be present with you. Don't push them all away, because this is what literally like feeds the shadow self. Okay, these feelings generally don't go away, but I think you know that, group 2, sorry. With all these cards in reverse here, it's just like gives me the feeling that you've been denying your shadow self, or you haven't been giving attention to your shadow side at all. This is just what I'm getting. If this is wrong, then I'm sorry, group 2, but there's definitely something that you don't give attention to and that you definitely should give attention to, because with I need time, for me, that your shadow self is literally begging you to give them attention. You have to integrate them, you have to heal. There's some parts of you that really are, you know, not they don't want to, but they are hurting you in your life if you don't deal with them, like if you don't integrate them, or at least try to heal them. Because whatever we don't heal about ourselves, it's still going to influence us, it's still going to trigger us in our lives, in our conscious experience. This is why it's so bothering. This is why we heal, right? To not let it bother us anymore. And they literally reminding you that you are love. You are love, and you are a queen. Like, you don't have to hate yourself for whatever you're suppressing. It's not, it's all valid, it's all beautiful, it's all unique, and it doesn't deserve to be hated. You don't deserve to be hated, not even by yourself, and especially not by yourself. So it's just reminding you, know, these parts are lovable about you too. The parts that you reject and disown and deny. You have 2 3s here, which yeah, is something that stood out for me to me. You have, I think we should see other people in reverse, and we have happiness is my priority in reverse. And the fact that these 2 cards were reversed, like both were reversed, it's just telling me, like, on the one hand, it's reminding you, yes, you can seek help, and you should seek help if you feel the need to. Professional advice, like, or friends, like help from your friends if you want that. But you should see yourself here. Okay, this is why this is in reverse as well. You should see yourself and not focus on the outer world for right now. It's time to focus within, and on within, the side of you that wants to come out, that is a queen. And with happiness is my priority in reverse, it's telling me that you haven't been making your happiness your priority. You have been making something else your priority. Maybe just living, or maybe just surviving in general. Whatever you're focusing on right now, it's you won't be very successful in it, or as successful as you could be. If you start like working on your shadow, then your whole life is gonna transform. It's always this way. And your shadow self is like having the same approach. Like, it doesn't want to harm you, it wants to be happy as well. This is the only thing that it wants. And all these parts of you that just, they all have their own dreams, their own needs, their own wishes. And if you don't meet those needs, of course they don't want to, like, they won't be happy, and they will trigger you. So you're just hurting yourself with not dealing with them. And it's hard learning to love those parts of you, but you can definitely do that. So let's take a look at the tarot here. It's so interesting that you have the Queen of Bones, Knight of Bones, and the King of Bones. So this is a lot of higher energy, group 2. Also with, like, you have the red candle, you have this red dress. It could be a fire sign, very much so, like Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. Or you could have fire in your chart very heavily, but don't be discouraged if you don't. This is just a lot of fire energy, a lot of creational, like creative energy. And yeah, so a lot of passion. These energies, these cards, the Queen and the Knight and the King, they could literally be people who are involved in your journey. They could be like authoritative figures, at least like the King and the Queen. Or they could be like the people who you are considering, like always looking at them if you make decisions. Or they could be the ones who are influenced when you start to work on your shadows. Maybe this is family, maybe this is friends, but there are definitely people here that you try to involve in this. If they can help you, group 2, then this is a good thing. Of course it is. But if there are people who may be like stopping you in doing this, then maybe you should take a step back for now. But I don't see that. Like, I don't see this in general. Like, I don't get like harmful energies from them. Not at all, actually. Maybe from the Queen of Bones. I don't know who that is. This could be you, actually. Yeah. I see this queen kind of resembled in this queen. This could be you. So let's say you are the Queen of Bones. You are the Queen of Wands, basically, the Queen of Fire. Then it's just telling, like, it's just telling me there's a lot of potential that you hold. And this potential is going to increase dramatically if you start doing shadow work. As I told group 1, like there's a video that I made about shadow work. If you are completely new to this, which I think you are, then maybe check it out. I have linked it in the description box and maybe also in the comments and in somewhere in the info card as well. Yeah, where I'm telling you how this works and what the shadow is exactly and how it's created and how it's formed and how you can deal with it the right way. And there are lots of people out there who can help you with that. You can also seek professional advice, but it's like it's a more spiritual practice for now, so they're not, I don't know if there are any like psychologists who talk you through that the way that I've presented it, or that most of the spiritual teachers like, present it. I don't know. Maybe, you can do some research about that. Maybe you should do this too. But yeah, definitely dive into this. Do your research and yeah, be serious about it. There's a lot you can gain from that, a lot. With the 7 of Cups here, a lot of, like, this is resembling a lot of choices, a lot of options, and sure, there are a lot of parts that need to be integrated here. But I think there's something else to this card. I think that you think, group 2, that you have a lot of options. I think you may be not knowing what to do right now because there are several things that you could do. Maybe if it's about like some traumatic thing that you have experienced and you're trying to figure out if you should just deal with it yourself or if you should seek help, professional help, or if you just, should talk to close friends, or if you just completely forget about it and not deal with it at all, or you just continue living on your life. There are too many choices, and I think you just sit here and don't do anything because it's too much for you. But I think it would be wise to seek professional advice. With the King of Bones here, I see that as like some kind of authoritative figure that could help you and that could give you advice, that could guide you through this. If you don't have anyone like this in your life, group 2, then maybe it's time to search for someone like that, to maybe pray for someone like that if you are into praying of some kind. Like, I'm not telling you what to do, but your shadow self is telling me here that it would be wise to seek guidance and take this seriously. Like, if you do this, if you start to do this, then take it seriously. And the Magician here is reminding you, group 2, that you can create anything. You can be anything when you are comfortable with the shadow and comfortable with the light. You're basically limitless. You are all powerful then of your life, because if you accept your shadow and your light side, then no one can harm you, nothing can trigger you, and you can, do whatever you want. It's just, it's a big thing. I mean, you're never gonna be done with shadow work, obviously. There's always parts Like, there's always going to be something to do in your healing and your growth journey. But if you are comfortable with transformation, with creation, then there's a lot of potential that you can fulfill here. Doing shadow work can increase like our potential a lot. It can unlock a lot of potential and creativity that we haven't like been able to tap into before. So this is just telling me that there's a lot to come for you, group 2. Like, you are destined to do great things. But this is the price I gotta pay, okay? You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know that you're powerful, because you kind of forgot about that. And your shadow self is just wanting you to, you know, start to love yourself, like, as you are. Because you are a queen. This is very precious, actually, group 2. I'm gonna close the reading now with an advice card from the Universe Has Your Back oracle. And yeah, then we're gonna call it. So, any advice that you can give group 2, like any advice for group 2 about healing their shadow. Any advice for group 2? What would help them right now? Yes. It's I choose to learn through love. Which is basically what they were saying, group 2. That's in learning to love and to accept every part of yourself, there lies the true power. There's a lot for you to learn here, and a lot for you to create, and a lot for you to do. So it's an exciting journey. It's not, of course it's gonna be hard at some point, but it's exciting, and you will gain so much more than you may lose, or think you may lose. Actually, you won't lose anything. You will only gain. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna call it group 2. I hope you liked this reading. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do tarot videos every Saturday, and I'm gonna link one over here now. You can check my playlist out. I have a whole playlist of tarot videos, and I also do other things like talk about spirituality and psychology, and I do a little entertainment as well. So for now, I wish you a wonderful day, group 2, and I hope to see you in another reading soon. Goodbye. Hello and welcome. If you chose this white or very light blue candle, this is gonna be your reading. Group 3. I'm gonna put your candle over here to shine its light through the reading. And we're first gonna take a look at your oracle cards, and I'm gonna pull some tarot, and then we're gonna talk. So the first card that wanted to come out for you from the Dark Mirror oracle deck is number 9, Envious Gluttony. Just look at this card. It's kind of scary, actually. Then from the Wild Unknown Archetype oracle card, there's such long names actually, is number 60, the Dead Ant, and number 66, the Womb. Just like literal opposites. And then we have from the Channeled Messages, I sometimes wonder if you can have I need more balance, and we have what do you want? Okay. I'm just gonna adjust the cards so we can see every single one of them. Nice. And I'm gonna put some tarot for you, group 3, before I start reading your cards. So for group 3, Spirit, please, what would group 3's shadow self want group 3 to know about this? For group 3, what does group 3's shadow self want group 3 to know? Oh gosh. Okay, so we have the 5 of Cups coming out. I find it so interesting that in this deck, the 5 of Cups is literally a person, a character. What else? What would group 3's shadow self want group 3 to know? Knight of Wands came also out for group 2. Spirit is very, very hasty today. We have time. I mean, I don't have any time, but not much time, anything, but we have time. I have to work later the day, so. Anything else? What would group 3's shadow self tell group 3? What do they want them to know? Group 3's shadow self, please. Anything else? Yes, we have the 6 of pentagrams. Yeah, in this supernatural tarot, it's not pentacles, it's pentagrams. Anything else? What group 3's shadow self and group 3 to know? Or heal. Or do. Okay, so we have the Ace of Blades, which also came out for, I think, group 1. Right, as we have some similar energies here in all the groups. Of course, because we always talk about the shadow, right? And we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is very nice, actually. Okay, so by the way, I'm gonna warn you if I'm about to spoil anything about Supernatural. I'm not sure if I can hold back on that. So if you haven't watched the show and you want to watch it, then maybe skip over those parts. So starting with your first oracle card, the Envious Gluttony, this is a card, you know, it's attached to one of the grief stages. As every card in this oracle deck, there's like one grief stage that is that is, you know, accounted for this card. It's, in this case, it's denial. And we have this I think Jupiter's waxing moon or something, like there's a moon phase in every card as well. And Envious Gluttony, if you look at this card, like a very close look, which is nasty actually, you have this figure here which sits on this kind of throne. It has like claw feet and very dirty clothes and blood everywhere, and those, like the skull head looks like a crocodile on alligator skull. There's just like this big open mouth, and you have this hole in the background, which is just like leading to more darkness. And the Dark Mirror oracle is literally like each card is a mirror. You're looking at it, and then it's like something looking back at you. And this just tells me that there's one specific thing that your shadow self is wanting you to pay attention to here, group 3. And it should be very obvious, or maybe it's not because you're in denial of it. Yeah, it just talks about a feeling, like a very, very big feeling of envy or anger in this case. That's just so, it became so big and literally so nasty that you try to completely deny it, you try to completely not see it and push it back. And this is why it becomes part of the shadow. If you want to know more about this, group 3, what the shadow is and how to heal your shadow and do shadow work in general, then you can go to the video that I mentioned in the beginning. It's somewhere in the info card. It's also linked in the description box. Like anything, any feeling that you suppress, any part of you that you deny or disown or reject, it's becoming part of your shadow. And this definitely is. And it's a very big part at this time. It's become very big because you haven't paid any attention to it. But the thing about like envy or anger is there's almost like an underlying feeling to it. It's not just like this big scary figure that just wants to consume everything and anyone. Most of the times it's actually like there's another feeling that is actually hiding itself here. With the Dead End card, it's funny because these two oracle cards, they're like striking me as complete opposites. They're also so close to each other. Like we have the number 60, number 60. I hope it's no, wait, it's 40. 40 and 46 with a dead end like this. You see this hand within this jungle of thorns. Be quiet, child. And it's literally telling you you've hit a dead end. And whatever this is, if you don't pay attention to it, you're gonna continue hitting dead ends because it's been enough. It's just enough. Your shadow self is telling you it's enough. We can't go on like this. You have to deal with it because otherwise it's gonna influence your whole life, and you're gonna, you know, experience deaths in like every part of your life, in every area. Like not literal death, but like the death of situations, the death of cycles, the death of opportunities. There are going to be dead ends for you if you don't deal with it. And with the womb is always talking about creation, right? About receiving, about like this feminine motherly energy. And this is just such a light card in comparison to the dead end. And yeah, with the womb, it's always talking. It's like as well talking about where you are coming from, like your family, your home. Maybe it's time to look at that. If we're talking about this, like whatever anger you're suppressing here, whatever you're feeling so negatively about, could be related to where you're coming from. It could be related to your family, it could be related to your mother or your parents in general even. This is very specific now. But if you are like facing problems or having trouble in a relationship with your family or your parents, and then this is maybe a time, like, it's not about, like, shadow work is not about healing others, okay? So you can't go back to your family and expect them to act differently towards you, just like that. If you go on with the same expectation back to a situation that you know is hurting you, and it's not going to change, because anytime, like every time, your expectations will be disappointed, right? Then you keep on hurting yourself. You can't heal others in this phase. You have to change something, like you have to heal something within yourself. So you have to let go of these expectations. And if this is something about your family, about your mother, or some kind of motherly figure, something related to where you're coming from, and yeah, if this is related to that, and you kind of don't know where to go, what to do with this negative feeling, with this anger, with this envy, maybe, whatever this figure is in your case, you gotta heal it. And whatever is underlying for this, like, it's really scary if you look at this closer. There might be just like a feeling of wanting to belong, or wanting to be loved, or wanting to be accepted just the way you are, from the persons, like the people who are closest to you. And this is not something that you should fear. It's something that you should feel sorry for. This could be the actual thing that is underlying on that grief, on that anger, I mean, that negative feeling. By the way, you're not a bad person for expressing negative feelings, by the way. This is something I had to learn. Like, it's not bad to have negative feelings, to experience negative feelings in any way. Because when I grew up, I was always like taught to, look on the positive side of the things, but not everything is positive, and it's okay to feel negative feelings at a time, because if you don't, then, shadow side and everything. So with the messages cards here, right? The womb, when it's out of balance, it's literally out of balance. Like when your sacral chakra is actually where this is like going, like the womb, any form of creation is the sacral chakra, and it's out of balance. It's out of balance, and this is what this, of course, talks about. Like anything that is related to where you're coming from, what you're creating, what you're receiving. When it's out of balance, like your whole life is gonna be out of balance, and you have to be, you know, trying to figure out what you actually want. Like, do you even care about if this one thing doesn't go right? Like, let's say, for example, let's make it simple. You don't want to study, but you want to become an artist, for example. And your mother is telling you to study, you know, to get a stable job, get a stable paycheck first, and then do, I don't know, your art in your free time, and then maybe make it a living someday in the future. So, but you don't want that, and you don't agree with it, and you don't feel like your feelings are validated here, and your feelings are like, you don't feel seen or heard here. You just feel that everyone is trying to, you know, tell you what to do, and they don't accept your wishes. But like, it could be some kind of this situation, or it could be much more fail. It could be something else, something that maybe you feel like your parents never loved you. It could be anything that is could be as light or as dark as it is for you, because this is a general reading and I can't talk for everybody of you. But you should think about, like, is it even that important to you? Like, if you do what you want to do, if it's like becoming an artist, or, you know, just going down the path that you chose for yourself, is it really important for you that everyone agrees on that? Like, don't listen to other people, what other people say that you want. You know what you want. And actually, you don't need the validation of anyone. You just need it to know for yourself. And I think if you start listening to everyone else, and if you start just focusing on who is not in agreement with you and who doesn't agree on the way that you're choosing for yourself, or the things that you want for yourself, then you're focusing on others all the time. Okay, and you're not validating your own wishes and your own needs, and you're not validating that this anger that you're feeling over the situation is actually maybe just the fear of losing these people, of losing the sense of belonging to them, relating to them, or being loved by them. And of course, this feeling is valid as well. It's valid, even if it sounds ridiculous for you if you think about it. Like, no one is gonna stop loving you just because you like, choose something for yourself that you know and feel is best for you. This is not how the world works. You can't just, you know that you don't just stop loving people because they do what's best for them. In the best case scenario, it should just, you know, of course they should support you in everything that you're doing. If it's like on good terms, right? If you don't, no, I wouldn't support, you know, if you just went there, okay, I want to kill people. Like, no, I think it's okay to not support that. But whatever you're choosing for yourself without harming anybody should be supported. And it's okay to feel this way. I just want to say that it's okay to feel this way, but deal with this feeling. Okay, sit with this feeling, and don't fear the rage in you. Even if you don't know this from yourself, if you don't know this kind of harsh feelings that you feel in yourself, if you're not comfortable feeling so negatively about someone or something, then this is also part of your shadow, right? You have so many parts in yourself, so many aspects of yourself, and every one of us has a furious side. Every one of us can feel danger, anger. I'm influenced by the deck. I'm just like, Mark of Cain, like, spoiler alert, Mark of Cain is just always like dangerous. Or maybe I was thinking of Dean and then of anger, and then there was like this kind of beautiful word mix of danger. Oh god. So yeah, spoiler alert again. So this Mark of Cain in the show Supernatural is given to Dean to kill like a bunch of princes of hell or something, and it brings out everything in him that he doesn't want to be, like all this anger, all this rage and this brutality, and you may not, you know, comfortable with that because maybe you're not this kind of person, or you just don't identify with being furious, being hot-headed or something like that. But it's part of you, and it's important for you to recognize and accept that, because it's all about balancing those things out. Every part of you just wants to have their needs met and have their wishes fulfilled, and it's about finding compromise, finding balance. This is what the Six of Pentagrams is talking about. It's all about finding like a middle way. It's never an extreme. And maybe this is comforting for you, that you don't have to let it all out. If you deal with those feelings, you can find a perfectly well-balanced state of, you know, being in your own center and accepting yourself. It's not about saying, okay, I'm angry now, and this is part of me now, so I'm always going to be angry, and I'm always going to be the person everyone fears. No, this is not what we're wanting to achieve here. Definitely not. And with the Five of Cups here, it's like, I know that right now it may feel like you're gonna lose something or someone by changing your relationship, changing the behavior that you present towards them. When you start listening to yourself and start to deal with this anger, or start to do what you want to do here. And maybe, yeah, it's a feeling of losing something. It's a feeling of missing out on something. And it's also okay. This feeling is also valid. But you are, group 3, you are the Knight of Bones, which is Knight of Wands, and actually. So you are like a student of life, okay? So you are very creative, you are very passionate about something here, and you can create anything for you. This is why the womb is here, also to remind you that you are the writer of your own story, you are the protagonist. Okay, if you think about any kind of story, if the protagonist hits a dead end, there's always something happening that brings the story forward. Something like always some kind of transformation in their beliefs or in the behavior and their action. Something has to change here. And this is what your shadow self is trying to tell you. This is something that this is like a starting point where you can start and then move on from that. Maybe you've done shadow work before, but this is the thing that you have to focus on right now, because right now it's basically holding you back from everything. And yeah, it's gonna start turning this wheel if you do it. The Wheel of Fortune here. I love this episode, by the way, if you know what I'm talking about. The Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana, so very important for you here that if you deal with this, if you integrate this part, if you know, accept those feelings, sit with them, deal with them, work through them, the whole thing is gonna turn in your favor. The whole wheel is gonna make like a 180 degrees turn. And you can expect so much more of good things, like so many miracles coming in for you if you really start to deal with it. And I think it's gonna be, you think it's gonna I think for you it seems like it's impossible and it's so hard and it's gonna be very painful, but it's not. I think actually it's kind of simple for you if you really start to do this work on yourself, especially this situation. It's gonna appear more easier than you have initially thought it would be, because it seems like everything is very balanced here. Okay, it's just like the first initial trigger. You're just scared of what it's gonna be like if you deal with it. You're scared. You think you're scared of the unknown. Of what if I change? What if I change this kind of thing, this behavior or this mentality? If I change the relationship to this person, if I just start to stand up to them, what is gonna happen? But you're not scared of the unknown. You're just scared of what you project into it. That's the whole truth. We're not scared of the unknown because the unknown is just nothing. There's nothing to be scared about. Okay, group 3. So for the end, I'm gonna pull an advice card for you, and then we're gonna close close your reading. So, for group 3, any advice for group 3 that you can give us? Any advice for group 3? What would be helpful for the journey? Anything? Just one card would be nice. Any advice for group 3? Okay, this was very loud. I surrender to a power greater than me. Very beautiful. You have the butterfly here, which is all about transformation, right? Actually, the word butterfly, I think in Greek, yeah, psyche, or yeah, it was psyche. I think in Greek is something like butterfly or something like that. I'm not sure. But psychological development. It's all about transformation. Just for you to know. Fun fact. So I surrender to a power greater than me. Yes, you know, sometimes things don't work out as we want them to. And maybe you thought you could heal this, you could just change this relationship to this, or this thing, whatever makes you hurt here. You may just have been thinking that it would change itself, or it would, you know, get better over time, but it's gonna continue hurting you if you let it. You can just change, you can just, you know, let go of your expectations. What is wrong with me today? And work on yourself, group 3. And surrendering is like a very powerful thing to do, because you are never lost. The universe, like, there's always something guiding you, and this power is greater than you. And even if it's your higher self, even if it's yourself, your shadow self is part of that, okay? Then let it guide you through this. There's nothing that can harm you, nothing you have to be afraid of. It's just healing your wounds, healing your trauma. You can only focus on yourself. And there's a lot of great transformation ahead of you. Okay. So this is where I'm gonna call you group 3. I hope you liked this reading. If it gave you some clarity, if it was helpful, then make sure to hit the like button, and yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do tarot videos every Saturday. I'm gonna link one over here, and there are also some linked in the description box. You can check them out if you want to. I do other things as well, like you know, spirituality in general, and also psychology and entertainment as well. So you can check that out, that channel, if you want to. But for now, I wish you a wonderful day, group 3, and I hope to see you in another reading soon. Goodbye.